I just want y'all to help me with a standing ovation before he even start, give to Command Sergeant Major Tech.
All right.
Please be seated, please be seated, please be seated. All right, that's a lot of paperwork up here. Jesus Christ. All right, we're gonna get down to it. I want to look at you, Sergeant Major. Good evening, distinguished guests, family, and proud citizens of El Paso. First and foremost, I really want to thank your family from traveling from afar to be here today. And I had the opportunity to meet both beautiful sisters. Man, I don't know what y'all having y'all family for is youth juice, but I need some of that because everybody looks so young. Sergeant Major Reggie Daniels put me to work since I arrived here in El Paso. As soon as I hit the ground, he called me, and since then, I've been going at it. But this particular day, he called me. He said, "Hey, I need you for 5 minutes." Yep, 5 minutes. Before I go into that, Sergeant Major, people have been in this room sitting up all day. And like a true Sergeant Major, you came in here and rearranged them. I mean, just like a charm. I said, that's what I would have did, so it's the right thing to do. People, and it'll take some weeks for people to really embrace what's going on here. There are people who look at movies, who would go check out a book from a library, but you literally have one right here sitting before you right now. When I studied military history, I mean, sitting down with a living legend in the flesh, someone I can touch, you got to think about being 101 years old and the decades and the amount of things that this person has seen and the things that they've done. I mean, I'm over here picking his brain, and it's like, you are a legend. Things that I have to go watch movies about. He was there for it, literally. And I'll talk about some of that. But again, Reggie called me and said, "Hey, I need you just for 5 minutes." Mind you, I said, I haven't seen the commanding general yet, and him and I have a dinner today. He said, just 5 minutes. We're going to sing happy birthday to Sergeant Major Brown. And when he told me he was turning 101, I will be honest with you, this is not what I imagined. All right? I said, all right, I'll be over there. Too easy. 5 minutes. And I got there, Brother Mason, Brother Magic were outside. I said, this is going to be really quick. When I walked into that room and I saw your face, I knew I wasn't leaving that house for another 2 or 3 hours before he even opened his mouth. And I text Major General Taylor, the commanding general, 1st Armored Division, and I said, hey, I'm going to be a little late today. I said, I'm at Command Sergeant Major Brown's house. Today is his 101st birthday. He said, Sergeant Major, take much time as you need to do that. But while sitting there, he never let me get a word in. I mean, at all. I mean, there was no word in. He pulled me into him, you know, and he said a lot and gave me some doctrine that he wrote for the Sergeant Major's Academy.
Yes, Lord.
I mean, doctrine that's like, I wasn't born when he wrote it. Literally, I wasn't born. But the year it was published, it was literally the month of my birthday. I was 1 when you put that document in the Sergeant Major's Academy. And in about a few weeks, I'm going to speak to the students there, and I'm going to bring up that document you wrote. It is truly an honor to stand before you today as the incoming Command Sergeant Major of the 1st Armored Division. On an evening where we do something profoundly important, we remember, we recognize, and we dedicate. Tonight, we honor Command Sergeant Major, retired Curtis L. Brown, a soldier, a leader, a pioneer, and a man whose legacy continues generations long after he's hung up his uniform. Command Sergeant Major Brown's journey, like many of ours, with a simple but powerful act, raising his right hand and swearing an oath. But what followed was nothing short of extraordinary. For over 31 years, he dedicated his life to this nation. From his early days at Fort McClellan, to his service overseas in France, to his leadership across multiple formations, he didn't just serve, he elevated every organization he touched. He was known for his competence, his discipline, and his relentless commitment to excellence. Sound like me, Sergeant Major.
That's all right.
Whether serving as a company clerk or a truck commander or a truck master or rising through the ranks to first sergeant and eventually sergeant major. Command Sergeant Major Brown set the standard, and in 1957, he made history becoming one of the first African-American master sergeants promoted to sergeant major. But I say that because that's in the bio, but I had my people do a little research, Sergeant Major. And what I found was he is literally the first African-American sergeant major.
Whoa. Yes. Wow.
You want to know how I know that?
You ain't done some checking.
I have. Because your last name starts with a B. And you were the first one promoted in that list of 5.
Wow.
The moment just wasn't about rank, it was about breaking barriers, opening doors, and proving that leadership, character, and perseverance, what it looks like in action. But what stands out most about Command Sergeant Major Brown is just not what he achieved, it's what he continued to give. Even after retiring in 1975, that's when I was born, he never stopped serving. He mentored, he taught, he invested in leaders, ensuring that the Army he loved would remain strong, capable, and grounded in values. And he didn't just impact the Army, he impacted communities, including right here among the citizens of El Paso. His legacy lives not only in formations, but in neighborhoods and institutions, and in the people who carry forward his example. I had the personal privilege of seeing that legacy up close. I visited Command Sergeant Major Brown on his 101st birthday. Think about that. 101 years of life, experience, and wisdom, and even then, you could still see the soldier in his eyes. The pride of a soldier, the strength of a leader, and the humility of a man who never forgot where he came from or who he served alongside. That visit wasn't just an honor, it was a reminder that leadership is not about position, it's about impact. A reminder that service doesn't end when you take off the uniform. A reminder that the legacy we build is carried forward by those we lead and by the communities we serve. And I'll be honest with you, I learned something recently that made that connection even more real for me. I learned that El Paso County is officially recognized as the Veterans Capital of the United States of America. I didn't know that was an official designation, but standing here tonight and looking out in the audience, it makes perfect sense. To the veterans this evening, you are the reason for that title. You are the standard. You are the living legacy of service, sacrifice, and commitment that defines this community. And it's leaders like Command Sergeant Major Brown who helped build that legacy tonight. As we dedicate this plaque at the McCall Neighborhood Center, we are doing more than installing a marker. We are establishing a point of inspiration for both soldiers and citizens of El Paso. For every young soldier who walks by, for every NCO striving to lead better, for every young person in this community looking for an example to follow, they will see the name Curtis L. Brown. And they will know that excellence is achievable and that barriers can be broken and that service to others is the highest calling. As the incoming Division Command Sergeant Major, I will carry that with me because the responsibility we hold today is the responsibility Command Sergeant Major carried then, to build leaders, to uphold standards, and to take care of soldiers, families, and communities that we are privileged to serve. Command Sergeant Major Brown showed us how to do that, not through words alone, but through a lifetime of action. So tonight, we just don't honor him. We commit to living up to that standard. To Command Sergeant Major Brown and to his family, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And thank you for leaving behind a legacy that will continue to inspire the 1st Armored Division, the citizens of El Paso, and the nations in this nation. Our community stands strong today because of leaders like you. May we all strive to lead as you did. Thank you, and may God continue to bless our soldiers, our Army, the citizens of El Paso, and this great nation. Command Sergeant Major Curtis C. Brown, job well done. Thank you for your service.